What's up, guys? Welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today, we're going to be counting down the top 5 human torches in Heroclix. So without further ado, flame on! Coming in at number 5 for me is the Legacy Human Torch, originally from the Captain America set. But this one has this cool little feature where you can pop this Nova Flame off of him, and he's got a little sculpt in there, and then you can just kind of put it right back on there, and he's just in this big fireball. So it's really cool. So I always love sculpts that have some type of cool removable element or some extra thing you can like attach or whatever. I think that's really neat. But moving on to his actual dial, he starts with a trait that says that he may start the game with the Nova Flame, and if the Nova Flame is attached, Human Torch can use Poison and modifies his attack and damage by +1, and whenever Human Torch takes damage, remove the Nova Flame. So +1 attack and damage is great. Poison, I actually always forget that that's even part of it. And then he has a unique modifier that when Human Torch heals from the Fantastic Four team ability, after resolutions you can move an action token from him and modify all of his combat values by +1 until your next turn. So that's pretty awesome, you just, if your opponent KOs something and he happens to heal from the Fantastic Four team ability, he gets +1 all stats, removes a token, and, he can kind of hit back pretty hard. And then he has a special defense power, which says Energy Shield Deflection, Toughness, but only if the Nova Flame is attached. But then he has a special attack power, which is Pulse Wave, that deals 3 damage, and after resolutions, you can attach the Nova Flame. So a 3 damage Pulse Wave is pretty epic. And you get that Nova Flame back, because he does have to get damage to land on that special attack power anyway. So one thing for me is that I really feel like this guy is just one of the best examples of like a glass cannon, right? If you take a look, he does have 12 movement, running shot with flight, 7 range, 4 damage with a 10 attack, and with that Nova Flame equipped, he's going to have 11 attack for 5 damage top dial. For 120 points, that's not bad, but he just has a 17 toughness to protect himself. And one thing I love to do with this guy actually is put the power gem on him, giving him, close and range combat expert and +1 damage, essentially means he would have a 12 attack for 7 damage. So then he's just got massive damage output. But he does also have some energy explosion to, spread out the damage a little bit if you want to. But I'd personally prefer to just hit him for 5. But yeah, then he's got that special pulse wave and some penetrating blast throughout the dial, and it's just his defense and his damage goes down pretty quick. And once he loses that running shot and everything, he just 120 points is kind of a lot nowadays. So this dude can hit super hard up front, but he does kind of lose it pretty quick once he takes a hit. But on the bright side, he does have a freaking awesome sculpt. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 5. All right, coming in at number 4, this one's actually the starter set or mini game, whatever you want to call it, from the Avengers Fantastic Four Empire set. Actually pretty awesome see-through fiery sculpt on this one, flying through the air. Looks pretty great. But I really like the B dial version on this one. So this starter set, of course, like a lot of the newer ones, does come with an A and a B version of them. Both dials are fairly generic, but the B version I like a lot because for 50 points, he has a special energy explosion that when he uses it, hit characters are dealt 3 damage instead of 2. And, he just got, 10 movement, running shot, flight, 6 range, double target, 11 attack for that special energy explosion. Then he just goes into some sidestep and regular energy explosion with energy shield, this whole dial. Nothing too crazy, just a really simple, big damage energy explosion. So for only 50 points, he's a pretty good range attacker. He can do a bunch of damage to a group of enemies. But that's pretty much all there is to it. He just has, a lot of damage potential with that double target, 3 damage energy explosion. Pretty good reach, long movement, running shot, long range by today's standards. So he's a pretty solid 50 points. He doesn't do anything crazy special besides that. So, maybe he's a little boring, but he gets the job done. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 4. All right, coming in at number 3 for me, we have the rare Johnny Storm Human Torch from Fantastic Four. This set had a lot of good versions of all the Fantastic Four. The rare ones, some of the best, I think. So taking a look at what he can do here, his first trait says that friendly characters with the Fantastic Four keyword within 4 squares can use enhancement. Don't forget that he checks all those boxes as well. He is a friendly character. You know, you're always friendly to yourself. He does have the Fantastic Four keyword, and he's always going to be within 4 squares of himself. So he can also use enhancement. And, you know, it just kind of bumps his damage potential up a ton as well, because all your Fantastic Four characters get enhancement. So you move them up, position them correctly, and he can just running shot in there with +3 damage from all the enhancements. So pretty good damage potential just from that trait. But then he also has this cool special attack power that is Pulse Wave, and when he uses it after resolutions, you can choose an opposing character that can use all caps protected Pulse Wave, which is now Safeguard Pulse Wave, or just regular protected Pulse Wave, within his range and line of fire, and deal that character 1 penetrating damage. This also includes stop clicks. So it's pretty cool, actually. You could essentially Pulse Wave somebody onto a stop click and then deal them free penetrating damage, or you know, you Pulse Wave somebody, if they were protected Pulse Wave, they didn't take any damage, then you can still hit them for a penetrating damage. It's pretty neat. I like that a lot. And then he also has a special damage power where Human Torch and adjacent friendly characters take no damage from energy explosion or poison. It would be cool if they were also, you know, like protected Pulse Wave or whatever, but either way, it's still really good. And taking a look at his dial, you know, for 75 or 60 points, pretty decent either way. Again, with the long movement, running shot, long range, flight, energy shield, pretty basic as far as the Human Torches go. But yeah, I just like, you know, the fact that he kind of protects your team from energy explosions and stuff. He hands out enhancement to everybody, so if you have another good range attacker on the team, like, I don't know, Silver Surfer or something like that, or another Human Torch, whatever, they can also be making use of all that enhancement lying around. So pretty cool. For all those reasons, he's coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 on my list is the actually Deep Cuts Human Torch. Unfortunately, I never got around to painting mine. I really wish I had. I really want to continue my painting series I did years ago when they made all of these figures. I have a bunch that I still have unpainted, so kind of want to do that again still. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see a return for those videos, or if I should just do them in my free time. But taking a look at what he can do here. Honestly, this guy, I think, point for point, could be the number 1. I just really didn't want to put him there because he's really only good at 20 points, and I don't feel like the 20-point version of a character should be the number 1. I don't know, except for the Hulk. The 10-point Hulk was just too good. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. So he does have Barrier as free, but only to generate 1 marker, and when he uses it after resolutions, choose a character adjacent to that marker and knock them back 2 squares. That alone is so freaking good. Free Barrier is, of course, always nice to, you know, block some lines of fire, make it a little harder for them to shoot you from range, but also a free knockback for 2 squares, and that's any character. So you can knock back your own friendly characters to either reposition them like a sidestep or a mini TK, or knock them into something to actually deal them a knockback damage if you wanted to, you know, turn their dial or something for some reason. Or, you know, it's just the free knockback damage on an opposing character, which is always nice as well. So just so much utility in that first little trait there with the free barrier and the knockback is so good. He also has a stop click with energy shield deflection, and like I said, he has a 20-point line where really I think all the values there in the 20 points. You could play him at 75 if you want. It's pretty much the same thing, just longer dial, +1 attack and defense to start with. So not bad at all for 75 either. But for 20 points, you know, just a mere 20 points, he has running shot, energy shield deflection, and enhancement. So he's also, you know, enhancing your other characters. He's got flight, you know, running shot, 10 attack, 3 damage, 6 range, very respectable stats. And once he hits that stop click, he still has sidestep with 11 attack and 2 damage range combat expert, so he could still be shooting 12 for 3 range attacks. That's pretty great, I think. Overall, this dude's nuts. And if for some reason he hits the stop click and then they KO some other Fantastic Four character, you know, he could heal with the team ability and just be right back up off that stop click again. So this guy, just like I said, just so much utility for 20 points. Really, really cool stuff he can do. Really solid version of the character. And a cool sculpt that you can customize yourself, or you can swap it because, you know, it's one of those switch click spaces, so you can pop another sculpt on there from one of the other Human Torches if you'd like. So yeah, he's pretty amazing, and for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 2. But before we get to our number 1 pick, as always, we have some honorable mentions to go through first. So there are a lot of other really cool Human Torches in the game. I actually do really like the common version from the Fantastic Four set. You know, basic sculpt there, but he does also have a stop click, which is just energy shield deflection again, and it's stop, but only if another friendly character with Fantastic Four keyword is within 4 squares. You know, not too hard to pull that off. And he's got an interesting trait that he increases his attack total +1 for each 4 in the finalized attack roll. So you want to roll some 4s to up his attack a little bit. It's pretty interesting, you know, if he rolls like a 4 and a 1, he could actually still hit a 17 because he has 11 attack to start with. So yeah, I mean, running shot, 6 range, energy explosion, you know, energy shield, pretty much the same kind of stuff we see on a lot of these dials, but that stop click for only 40 points, not bad. And he actually has Spider-Man team ability, which, you know, when this came out was still wild card, but got upgraded later. So now he also has super senses on a 6 for his whole dial, which I think is pretty awesome. And yeah, just overall, not too bad. He's got, you know, good stats and powers the whole way down. Just a cheap and decent version of the character. And the next one I want to take a look at here is Human Torch. And this was like part of an OP kit they did with a bunch of the Fantastic Four stuff. It got like delayed or whatever. It had to come out later. Or you could like buy it. It was like a weird blind OP kit where you get like a random couple of figures and a random legacy card or something. It was interesting. It was kind of cool. You can actually still get it on the WizKids website, I think, for like 20 bucks or whatever. Get a couple of them, see what you get. But anyway, this one was pretty cool. Honestly, I thought about putting this guy in the number 4 spot, but I just really love the 3 damage energy explosion. But this guy does a lot of interesting things. When establishing theme teams, characters on your starting force with Inhumans keyword gain the Fantastic Four keyword and team ability, which is really cool. And he's got leadership, and when he uses it and removes action tokens from a friendly character, you can choose one, remove an additional action token from that character, or that character has safeguard, energy explosion, and pulse wave until your next turn, which is really neat. And then you also have Passenger 2, but only to carry characters that share a keyword. And then the rest doesn't matter because you no longer modify movement when carrying anymore. But yeah, pretty decent dial, 75 or 50 points. Again, just running shot, energy shield, energy explosion, or some toughness if you're playing them at the 50-point line. Again, 6 range double target flight, all the same kind of stuff we see a lot here. But you know, decent dial, really cool specials to help out the team. It's a very team-friendly version of the character, you know, and who doesn't love some good keyword cheating to get some Inhumans on your Fantastic Four team? And last up here, I definitely was going to put this guy on my list. Honestly, this one was my actual number 4 pick for a minute, maybe even number 3, you know, when I was playing around with the list a little bit. But unfortunately, this Human Torch is using the Cosmic Control Rod, which if you guys know anything about my top 5 lists, you know that I like to keep it to basic versions of the characters, no cosmic enhancements, no venomized versions, etc., etc., no, you know, gauntlet wielding, nothing like that. So unfortunately, that kind of knocked this one out of the running, but I still wanted to include him in the honorable mentions because he doesn't really feel crazy cosmically empowered or anything like that. It's not even really on his sculpt or anything, so you can kind of get away with it. And the sculpt is really freaking cool when he's like half on fire like that. It looks super awesome. And his dial is great. He's got traded leadership and mastermind. And when he uses leadership and succeeds, the friendly characters don't have to be adjacent if it shares a keyword with him. So map-wide leadership is great. He also has knockback and pulse wave, and when Human Torch uses pulse wave, friendly characters have protected pulse wave, all caps, so a safeguard pulse wave, can't even be targeted by it, which is amazing because, I mean, if you guys know anything about White Shirt Scott Porter, he also has knockback pulse wave that doesn't target friendly characters, and that is super duper good. Because of the pulse wave, they can't use any of their powers for the knockback either, so even if they have a reducer, it'll be turned off, and it's essentially 2 damage pulse wave if they knock into something. And he does have pretty great stats and powers the whole way as well, just regular pulse wave at the end with a 12 attack, for 4 damage, not bad. Yeah, I think overall he had some really awesome potential. I would have, if you don't care about the cosmic control rod thing, just replace him at number 4. But the only other one I want to quickly mention is also not on this list for the same reason, and that is the Chase from the Avengers War of the Realms set, where he has the power of the eternal flame or whatever. He's like in the goblet and everything. It's really cool. You know, it's amazing. He does a lot of awesome stuff. I'll put his card on screen for you. I unfortunately don't have one either, but it's one of the best sculpts for a Human Torch. And if he wasn't empowered by, you know, some other force, I would probably put him at my number 1. So again, if you don't care about that, then just put that one at number 1. But without further ado, let's get to my number 1 pick. All right, and burning his way into the number 1 spot, if you didn't guess it already, is the Human Torch from the Cosmic Clash starter set. You know, they came back hard with that starter set. I gotta say, there was a lot of amazing versions of the Fantastic Four in that set. And this one, I think, may have been one of my favorites of the whole thing. So taking a look at his card here, he does have this cool trait, Flame Trail, once per turn for all characters with this trait. When Human Torch moves, after resolutions, choose a character he moved through or adjacent to and deal it 1 penetrating damage. That's pretty awesome. Just anytime he moves through somebody, deal him a penetrating damage for free. No dice need to be rolled or nothing. That's always good. And then he's special attack power, Flame On, Poison, but may use it even if moved or placed this turn. You gotta love that. The only downside is he doesn't start on either dial with that. I really wish he did. But, you know, just having it on his dial at any point is good, because they can really just get hit with that by surprise. You can move through them with the Flame Trail, ping them for penetrating, and then free poison them. So that's a pretty awesome combo when it does line up like that. And then he also has a stop click, but only if another friendly character with the Fantastic Four keyword is on the map. And again, energy shield deflection. He also has, of course, improved movement characters, so he can just move through people to ping them for that. And yeah, really cool. I also do want to point out he does have the Herald keyword, which is kind of nice nowadays, because he could get, you know, like Khonshu or something like that for free. But otherwise, he does have some pretty good stats and powers. 100 or 75 points does mean he's kind of high on the points. But I mean, 11 movement running shot with 7 range is a huge reach nowadays. Not to mention a 12 attack, 3 damage with range combat expert means he's shooting 13 for 4 or 12 for 4 on the 75 line. So he's got great damage potential, energy explosion with 2 targets if you want to spread the damage out some. And that cool poison special later. So yeah, just really cool. I just think this is like the definitive Human Torch for me. It just really seems to, you know, capture him so perfectly, just flying around, blasting people, getting that free fire damage off with the Flame Trail and the poison and stuff. And just a really, really solid version of the character. So yeah, for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 1 for me. However, there is a lot of competition. I mean, I did say the number 2 could have very well been worthy of the number 1 spot as well, just for how much utility it had for 20 points. And like I said, if I was counting the like extra cosmically empowered versions of him, then the one that's sitting in the Eternal Flame could also be the number 1. And actually, that one does a lot of very similar things to this one, which is kind of why I like that one so much. It's just a little bit stronger. But like I said, this one's great too. Anyway, for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 1. But I would love to hear all your thoughts and opinions about it in the comments below. So please let me know your favorite Human Torches. Let me know, you know, what other characters you'd like to see on a top 5 list. And if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like button and click the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Or if you'd like to help support the channel even more, you can also check the links in the description for the Patreon or hit that join button down there for the YouTube memberships. Either way, as little as $1 a month gets you entered into my monthly giveaways, so check that out if that interests you. But that's going to do it for this one, you guys. Thanks again so much for watching. Till next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.